About 1,000 U.S. citizens are on their way home this morning after being evacuated from Sudan over the weekend. Two convoys of American citizens made the 12-hour journey from the capital of Khartoum to Port Sudan on the way to Saudi Arabia, which is separated by the Red Sea. Here are some of them arriving in the port city of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where additional U.S. personnel then met them, according to the State Department. All of this comes as another ceasefire has been extended, though plenty of reporting on the ground shows that fighting is still happening, particularly in and around the capital city. Joining me this morning, former Ambassador Susan Page. She was the first ambassador stationed in South Sudan after the secession from Sudan in 2011. She's also a professor in practice at the University of Michigan in international diplomacy. Ambassador, thank you for your time. What more are you hearing about the situation on the ground and the ongoing violence?
Yes, well, thank you, first of all, for having me on the show. I would say that it's great that more Americans and other citizens are being evacuated with the help of their governments, including the United States. That's wonderful. Even though the shaky truce has been extended, it has allowed for people to get out, as well as citizens of Sudan to be able to move a little bit more freely and stock up on resources. So that's good news.
Ambassador, this all started with the people of Sudan, civilians calling for democracy. Talk a bit about what they're fighting for.
Well, the civilians that formed a large alliance of individuals and professionals from different associations, women's groups who led the protests, they really wanted to have a democratic Sudan. They did not want the military to be in any positions of power or authority in the country, and they wanted to have normal lives of citizens that had a choice in the way that their country was being ruled.
So you've got these two generals leading these two fighting sides, the SAF and the RSF. You say it's difficult to see how either of these men could play a role in this new government. Explain why.
Well, because they have done all of the violence and committed serious crimes, the killings, the looting, the shelling, the firing. And they also launched a coup against their own government that was supposed to be leading to the transition to finally to get to a democratic government. And the people who really started the transition, who really wanted the democratic government, they're not really part of the discussion.
So how does this end, given the unfortunate nature of what we're seeing play out?
It's unclear, and I hate to say that that is the situation, but wars don't usually make for easy peace. And it's unclear if either of these two generals will back down without an actual victory on the ground. And that's the terrifying part.
Diplomatically speaking, Ambassador, what role does the U.S. and other nations play in the ongoing fighting and a resolution?
Well, the U.S. is part of what they call the Quartet or the Quad, the U.S., the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and the United Kingdom. They have been trying to negotiate with the two generals, but they had been a big part, along with the United Nations and other countries from IGAD, which is a regional grouping of African nations that had been trying to help the parties in this transitional government reach democracy. So they are continuing with their negotiations. Now, of course, it's to try to get them to at least cease the firing long enough for people to escape the violence. So the African Union, the Arab League, individual member states of these regional bodies have all been acting, not always in the same interest, but right now I think everyone's interested in the fighting stopping.
And Sudan, by land, is the third largest area in Africa, country-wise, and it borders 5 other nations. How concerned are those in positions of power that this may spill over into some of the neighboring nations?
Yes, Sudan is a very large country. It actually borders 7 countries, and many of them are really quite fragile.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.